The fourth thing that we do, the path we go down, is we try to behavior modification through religion. We try to earn God's favor with our works, all right? And we try to tilt the scales in our favor with God. If I could just go to church enough, if I could just stop cussing, if I could just stop drinking, if I could just do all these religious behaviors and tilt the scales in my favor, then at the end, maybe God's going to fulfill me and make me feel at peace with Him. Let me tell you what the problem with that is the scales don't exist. There are no scales in the Bible. Let me be clear. That did not come from Scripture. That came from man trying to justify behavior. All right, when we compare it to others, there are no scales. You're either 100% fully justified in the blood of Christ, or you are not. There are no scales. And Isaiah, the prophet, says that all of our acts of righteousness, all of our deeds, all of our works to try to earn God's favor are filthy rags. It's problematic. Anything that we do outside of the mercy of Jesus Christ is just rags. It don't mean anything. All right, so we try to go down those pathways. We do all of those things. But then we get to Romans, and this is why we're going through this study, because we get to the good news of this whole thing. All right, we understand last week in 5:12 that the sin is the problem. We're born into the world with the inability to please God, to seek God, to be lovable. We're enemies of God. We can't please Him in any way, shape, or form. That's how we're born into the world. So that sin has got to be dealt with. That's why we're looking at Romans. All right, because Romans talks about sin and salvation. And Romans says that all the things I just talked about that here's what God did in response to our inability to change our position with God, inability to fix that hole on our own. God says, I'm going to fix the sin problem. I'm going to send my Son, Jesus Christ, God manifest Himself in the form of human flesh to go down, to live the life that we couldn't live, to die our death on the cross, to be the substitute for us, to pay for that sin. So here's what happened on the cross. This glorious exchange. Our sin that had to be dealt with was imputed to God. It was imputed to Jesus Christ, and then He in turn imputes His righteousness to us. A glorious exchange. That's why we're calling this series that. So here's what God did. God, in His love, all right, He did. He took the Son of His love, all right, and He made Him the object of His wrath, so that we who were objects of His wrath could become sons of His love. All right? That is the glorious exchange. But not just so we could be sons of His love, so that we could be like the Son of His love.